my people, we are back. I know it's been a while and I have missed you all. So it's me here, your lovely host, Monica Monio, on the Unmasking Show. Now, as you know, on the Unmasking Show, we bring you beautiful stories, real life stories that we can all relate to and learn from. And today I have a very, very special guest who is here to share a very, very special and a very personal story that I know there's a group of people who can relate to. And I'm sure that this is going to kind of help and encourage someone and know that, hey, you may be going through the same journey, but you are not alone and you can do this. So I will allow our guest to introduce herself before we share on what we are going to talk about. Karibu sana. So please introduce yourself to our guests.
Okay, my name is Betty Oyugi. I prefer being called Nyaro Yugi. I'm a mother to a 10-year-old boy with autism.
Thank you very much. So as you heard, she said that she has a beautiful 10-year-old boy with autism. And that is exactly what we are going to be talking about. We want to talk about autism. We want to talk about the journey of raising a child with autism or having a relative with autism. So Betty is going to be sharing her story with us. And then later on, we can divulge deeper for our own understanding. So, karibu sana, and feel free to share. This is a safe space, and so feel free to share. Start from the top, bottom, or wherever you're comfortable. Okay. So, tell us about your boy. Tell us about your journey. Your pregnancy, and what was your pregnancy like? If we can start with that.
Yes. So when I got to the facility, I asked them that I wanted to see the delivery rooms. Yes. And then at the back of my mind, I remembered that since the pregnancy commenced, I had issues with high blood pressure. So I requested them to check my pressure. So they did the first check, it was high. And they requested that they do a second and a third. I relaxed, they do a second and a third.
All this at 27 weeks?
Yes, at 27 weeks. So when they did the second, it was still high. And then when they did the third, when they took the third, it was still high. So they said that then they need to check the protein in urine. So, but of course they were preparing me that in case we get protein in urine, we'll lock you up because it's not a good sign. So when they did the tests, they got that I had protein in urine.
But did they explain to you why it's not a good sign? Yes. Or what would be the possibilities of you having levels of protein in your urine?
They did. So they told me that means I will be having preeclampsia, which is not a good sign in pregnancy. So after they did that and confirmed that I had protein in urine, they told me I could not go back home.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because that's a bad sign. That means my pressures are high. At the same time, I have protein in urine. So once they noticed that I had protein in urine, again, now they were preparing me that in case we can't control the pressures, that will mean we'll have to save one of you. So either the baby or you. So I was really prepared. So that's how they locked me in for a week.
But how did you feel in that moment when you're told this is the situation and we will be forced to choose to save one of you? How did you receive that news? How was it for you to hear that? Of being that this is also your first child.
Of course, I was shocked. It was a mixture of feelings. I was shocked at the same time. I had to be strong. Yeah, so when they told me that, I just had to stay calm and let it be. Because I was now in a hospital facility, I had to trust them that I'm safe. Yes.
Okay. So then you are admitted into the hospital. And then what happens?
Yeah, so they monitored me for a week. So at the tail end, they did a scan. The doctors said they had to make sure that there's enough oxygen getting to the baby. So they did a scan and it turned out okay. Yes. So they released me after a week.
After a week.
Yes. So but then they said I have to be monitored constantly by a gyna because of the situation that was there. So I had to see a gyna every week. to confirm that things are okay.
By the situation, you mean that the blood pressure issues and the fact that you had protein levels. And then my other question is that was there any treatment that they were administering to be able to control these protein levels, or was it just managing and observing the situation?
Basically, they managed the situation, but now after delivery, I had to be put on medication. But now, before, they were just managing the situation. I had to be going for those pressure checks every day.
Oh, wow.
And write them down so that in case of anything, I will share with the doctors.
Okay.
Yes.
So then what happens between the time you get back home and the time you go into labor to have your baby? Was it normal? Did you have any other ups and downs in between, or?
No, I didn't. I actually forgot.
You forgot about
Yeah,
it.
I forgot, though I kept on with the checkups. I got a gynecologist who was walking me through. So, but again, now when she was taking care of me, she said that I should not wait for the onset of labor.
Okay.
That I should just, when I get to 37 weeks, I should just go to a health facility. She gave me a note.
Okay.
So that I'm helped.
Okay.
Yes.
So then you go through the 37 weeks, I
Yes.
presume, and now you need to have your baby. So what happens?
Yeah, so for me, I didn't really, at 37 weeks, so when the 37 weeks were over, the onset of labor began. But since it was my first child, I didn't even know that was labor.
So meaning you went into labor early?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yeah, but not at 27 weeks. So that was at the actual 37 weeks.
Yes.
Yeah, so the labor kicked in one early morning. But I also think my labor took long because it began early Sunday morning and I delivered the next day at Monday in the morning, 8:30 a.m. to be precise. So that labor also, I think, took long. But then I was not done for the CS as the doctor had suggested.
So you managed to have a normal
delivery. Yes.
Okay. Were there any complications in the process of having your baby, or it was just smooth?
It was smooth.
Okay.
Yes, there was no complication at all. Yeah, just that I felt that the labor was quite long. Yes.
It was prolonged labor.
Prolonged labor, yes.
Okay. So then, of how long were you in hospital?
After delivery?
Yes.
No, since it was a normal delivery, I just stayed there for 2 days and went back home after the delivery.
Okay.
Yes.
So then fast forward, you go home with your baby, and were there any signs on the onset, or at what point did you get to figure out that something was out of place with your baby?
There were no complications. His milestones okay.
He had normal milestones.
Yes. During crawling, he crawled at the right time. Yeah, I remember even at some point he could talk, like he could repeat what we say, like the shorter phrases. Yeah, so everything was normal. What I remember is that I think he walked late at 1 year and some months. And now when at 2.5, he had not spoken. But I mean, for me, I just thought it was normal.
So when you say he had not spoken, do you mean completely, or was he only uttering specific words, or was it that he was not speaking completely?
He wasn't speaking completely, but then, as I've said earlier, at some point he could repeat some phrases that we used to tell him.
So that means he was also attentive to cues. Okay.
Yes, he was. So, yeah, that went on so until when he was 2.5 years. And just on a normal day, his helper, the lady who used to take care of him, his nanny, called me that he's unwell. If I could come back home early enough to take him to hospital.
Okay.
Yeah, so I got back home, we went to hospital, and we were done for the normal routine, the temperatures and stuff. Then the doctor recommended that we do some tests. So
Just a minute. Prior to this time when you're being called he's unwell, I'm sure you're going for normal clinic visits and all that. Was there anything that the doctors you would have said to insinuate that maybe he was a bit delayed in his speech? Did you get any hint from the doctors?
no, I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't get any hint. So that's why I thought he was just a normal, quiet child, because he also used to be very quiet and could not play with the other children. So me, I thought that's just his nature. Yeah, so when this doctor saw us, and now when we got back in after the tests, then she asked if that's how my baby cries. She called it crying. Yeah, she was just like, hi, mtoto analia hivi. Then I was like, yeah, that's how he cries.
And what was this kind of crying?
I'll explain.
Okay.
So when I say that is how he does it, then she was like, the pitch in his voice is not normal. But for me, that's my only child.
Yeah.
I couldn't relate that there's something wrong with the pitch in his voice. So I asked her why she was saying that. She refused. She just kept on telling me that she'll take this baby to school to interact with others. Yeah, so that, just that. So I kept on prodding her to tell me. She refused completely.
Okay.
Yeah, so since it was taking long and it was also getting late, we had to leave the hospital and go back home. Yeah, then when I got back home, relaxed, I remembered I have a relative who is a pediatrician, because now I was afraid I will go to another doctor again and they'd refuse to say what the problem was. So I called her and told her what the doctor had said. She has clinics in Nairobi and here in Kisumu. So she told me she'll be in Kisumu in 2 weeks' time. I take the child so that she can see the child. Yeah, so the 2 weeks were there. We went to hospital. She saw the child. After her assessment, she told me the boy has autism. Yes. And now from there, she'll refer us to a neurologist.
If I may ask, what kind of assessment did she do? Was it blood tests? What kind of assessment was done for her to be able to determine that your child was autistic?
For her, what she did, just play. Yeah,
interacting with the child.
Just interacting with the child to get to know the child better. Then from there, she told me the baby was autistic, but now she'll refer me to a neurologist who will now take us through the tests and whatever was needed.
To confirm.
Yes, to confirm. Yes. So she referred us to a neurologist. So when we get to the neurologist, we were done for EEG. EEG is to check if the brain waves are functioning okay.
Okay.
And then ECG if the heart is functioning okay. Yeah, from there, we were also requested, but all these tests were okay, were normal, interestingly. We were also sent for an MRI to confirm if the brain is okay, that we might think it's working, the brain is working okay, but it's not. Then we were also sent to see an ENT specialist, because they said as we think we might be saying is hearing, but they had to confirm if he's hearing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So then after all these tests, what happened?
Yeah, so after the tests,
what was the news you got from the doctors? Like after all these tests, which of these tests revealed anything to confirm that your child was actually autistic?
There's none, but the doctor's diagnosis that was written was delayed speech, because they say autism is a wide spectrum.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and even knowing the causes there's no research that confirms that this is what causes autism exactly. So our diagnosis was written delayed speech.
Okay.
But then the doctors that we were sent to, there's a psychiatrist who had to see him just to know to study his behavior and interact with him. Yeah, so from the number of, from the other doctors that we saw, yeah, they said this is autism, but mild. Yes.
Mild autism.
Though we are told autism, is autism, whether mild or not.
Yeah. So then you are here, you've been told your child is autism. He's 2.5
Yes.
around then, yeah? So did you get any professional help in navigating the journey with an autistic child? Or were you just learning in the process? Did you have the support? How did you get to, because I'm sure now you have an autistic child, you have to try and understand what autism is, you have to try and understand the needs of your child and how your child communicates and everything. So what was this process like for you to now having to adjust to having an autistic child and knowing that, okay, your child's needs are a bit different. The kind of attention you need to offer your child is a bit different. Did you have professional help? Did you have the right support? What was it like for you?
So apart from the doctors, I was thrown into the deep end.
Oh.
Yeah, but luckily for me, I come from a family that has doctors.
Okay.
So for me, I could consult. Like when I see something strange, I could call them and consult. And my family got to support me. I have a strong support system. My friends came out now when I told them, because now I had to share what the problem was and just tell them this is what we've been told, and we've been told it's a journey. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be a normal kind of journey. Yeah, so, but I didn't get a counselor or something.
Okay.
I just managed it through the support of my friends
and family.
Yes. So along the way, I met people, from a support group, and people who could just help. And again, from social media, the way people talk and comment.
So from this support group, were there also people who are dealing with family members, children or relatives who are autistic? Okay.
Yeah, so in that support group it's for parents with children with autism.
Okay. What has it been like, or what was it like from then until now with your child? What is his personality like? How did he behave? How did he act? How did he interact with maybe other children or family? If you can just tell us what the journey has been like for the past, you discovered when he was 2.5. So if you can just share with us what the journey has been like for the 7.5 years in terms of how he is at home, how he is with other children, how is he different from other normal children? Because I know probably we also have parents out here who have children who are autistic. They just think their children are a little bit different, but maybe they don't understand that it is autism. So if you can just share what the journey has been like since you discovered that your child was autistic and the different changes and stages that he's gone through, if he's had any professional help, has there been some improvements? So if you can just share that bit.
Okay, there's something I forgot. So the doctors recommended that he start school as soon as that at that age, at 2.5, so that he could interact with the children, the other children, to help in forming his social skills. So we looked for a school, which was not easy to come by, because most of the schools we went to, we were rejected.
Because your child is autistic.
Yes, because the child is special, I think. I'm not sure. I've never really known why they did that.
Did any of the schools give you a reason?
No, they would just tell me that we are full, or we are not taking any more children. And so it was tough getting a school. So we really went around. Lucky for me, there's a relative of mine who is in special needs. So she advised me that I should not take the baby to a special school.
Yeah.
That I take him to
A normal school.
They call it regular or normal school, integrated schools.
Yes.
So that interacts with others to improve his social skills. So she even recommended a school. So lucky for me, I went to the school, and they said that they'll take him in for a week just to assess him and get to understand him. Yeah, so that's how he began school. Yes. So apart from school,
And how was his adjusting to school like? Let's say for that 1 week that they assessed him, what feedback did they give you?
they said it's okay. They'll manage him. I mean, they'll be able to take care of him by their standards. And so they just told us to give them a diet plan on what they should give him, what they should not give him. And they said that we could, them, they were very open. So they said that we can even take the child. I mean, somebody can go with the child just to get to taste the food, if it's okay, if that's the food he should be taking. Yeah, so with the school, yeah, it was okay. And yeah, so he got into school. He didn't have much of challenges. Of course, the first 2 days, he didn't want to remain behind. But luckily for me, the nanny was taking care of him, could just go with him to school and stay there until midday. When yeah, when he's in school, the lady could just be around.
So she sits
school.
with him in class?
Not really. She just used to sit outside. So in case the teachers had challenges, she could get in and help. Yes. And in case he was not feeding properly, she could get in and help.
You were lucky to have such kind of
yes, I was very lucky.
Yeah.
Because, and I got her, she just came to take care of the baby like a few months before the diagnosis. So, after the diagnosis, I was a bit distressed. I was cranky. So she just took the baby like her own.
Oh, wow.
She would even carry him on the back to school and back.
Oh, that's a
just
blessing.
say, yeah, just take care of the baby. So she took care of the baby like hers. And I also do a lot of field work, so most of the times I was not there. So where we used to stay, people used to think that's her baby.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so she stayed with us until when the boy was 5.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you can just share what your son's personality has been like in these 10 years. What are the struggles that he... first, I think let's start with the struggles that he has when interacting, and just generally the struggles with autism. I think it's really important for me that, someone out there really understands. So if you can just share what his struggles has been, what his high moments look like. Actually, what his high moments look like, what his low moments look like, and what his normal moments look like.
Yeah, so for him, just as I've said, he's been an easy child. Yeah, so what at first I noticed was tough for him was noisy places. Yeah, so like we'll get into a noisy place or where there are so many people, he couldn't cope. He could just pace up and down. He wasn't settled at all. He could cry. We call them meltdowns. He could have those sensory overloads. He could have overloads of the environment we are in. And another thing was sitting still, concentrating was another issue. We go to church and just letting him sit in an enclosed place for, let's say, 2 hours was tough. So at times we call it steaming, make those funny noises. We could make them and people will stare. But I could just keep strong. Like, I mean, it's normal. So people will stare. Like you're seated at the back, everyone will turn to check where
What's
the noise
wrong
is
with this
coming
child,
from. Yeah, so, but that did not deter me. We stayed in church. He goes to I take him to Sunday school as any other normal child. So he began at PP1, he's moved until now grade 5 with the others, because in school he's in grade 5. And I would say that with time, he gets better, because now he can sit still. His concentration is better. He can sit still and quiet, not still with the noises. Can sit still and quiet. He knows his surroundings.
He's no longer bothered by noises,
No.
or it depends on his environment?
No, he's no longer bothered by noise. But again, I think because of the exposure, because we could go every other Sunday. And again, I could expose him to crowds. You see, like I didn't want to keep him back.
You didn't want to treat him like
he's different. Yeah. Because I remember when I shared with one of my friends who also they have a nephew who is deaf. So they told me that what has helped them with the nephew is just to treat him like any other normal child. Don't treat them as special. So that will help them have the confidence and get them up to full potential. So I applied that. So yeah, I just treat him as normal. When he makes mistakes in the house, I punish. Yes, I don't let him that now you are special, so I can't punish you.
How does he take the punishments?
He cries. He's so emotional. Yes, so he cries. And that has helped. And again, with house chores, they call them activities for daily living. He does. And what he likes most about house chores is to do dishes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he'll be, once he's done with his meal, of which nowadays even knows how to lay the table.
Oh, wow.
So he'll lay the table, have his meal, clear the table, go and wash whatever he has used. Even if he gets others in the sink, he'll clear the sink. And he's overcome a lot of things. Yeah, so I've said he's overcome the noises. We can now have eye contact. He never used to have eye contact. Another thing, he never used to recognize me as the mother.
Oh, wow.
So I would just get home and he's just staring. Like,
that must have been hard.
Yeah, like I'm just there. I could come from my long trips. He's there. He's with the nannies, okay? You are never there. So now he recognizes me as the mom. So like if I go for some time, when I come back, so since he does not speak, so that means I always have to do WhatsApp calls in the evening, video calls, sorry. So that I just get to see his expressions, if he's okay. And for me, I will even know when he's unwell.
So to date, he's still not able to express himself?
Yeah, okay. He can express himself, but he's not speaking. Like speaking, he doesn't. But we communicate. Because for now, he knows his way around the house. If he wants drinking water, he knows where to get it. If he's hungry, he knows how to get his food. Or you'll serve him and he's not satisfied, he'll add his food. He knows where to get it. He knows how to put on some of his clothes. He knows how to put on shoes. And correctly, not left, right, right, left. And yeah, it's just overcome a lot of things that we thought. Because, you know, initially I was told it's not going to be a normal journey. It's going to be tough. But yes, he's getting around his way. And again, he's very neat. You'll not leave things all over the place. And no, if he finds your bag is where it's not supposed to be, he'll put it. And yeah, he's an organized boy, I would say that. And though he's not very good with his book work, the numbers and stuff, but for me, just the fact that he can interact with other children, which was a problem. And he's very happy to go to school.
Oh, wow.
He wakes up at 5 every day, whether it's a school day or not. And when he just notices that you are preparing for school, he's excited. He wants to go. Yeah. So for me, that is something. Because in autism, we say even the littlest milestone is something. So the latest milestone he has, that even knows how to get his books.
Oh, wow.
And do whatever home fun is being given. So mostly what we do now is numbers and coloring. So he knows, like he's back home, you are still tired, you are dragging. He'll take his snack and get his books and get his homework done. And now he can interact with other children. Let's say you are in a public place, you see children, he's excited, he wants to join them to play with them.
That's nice. So my question, you say that he's not able to speak, but you can communicate. What does that look like? What does you communicating look like?
So,
how does he communicate when he wants something that is not able to get himself, or how does he communicate when he has a need? What does that communication look like?
Yeah, so initially, when he was younger, he could pull our hands. Like if you want something from the kitchen, he'll take you to the kitchen. Then you'll try to ask him, do you want this? So he'll, eventually, if you hold the one he wants, he'll take it. Yeah.
Does he
So-
nod? Does he have any physical cues or?
Initially, no, but nowadays he has.
Okay.
Yes. So when he was younger, we could just try to get to understand what he's saying. But you know what's interesting with him is that you can speak and he'll understand what you are telling him. Like, do you want water? He knows where the water is, so he'll go and get the water. Or can you get the plates off the table to the sink? He'll take them to the sink. Can you put on your shoes? He'll put on his shoes. So that's how we communicate, because he understands. And if you want to leave the house, can we leave? You'll see him getting out. Or I want to leave, bye-bye. He'll tell you bye. Because he hears and understands.
Okay.
Yes. So we also try to let people around him, or even if we are going to a new place, let them know that he understands, but he doesn't speak. So just treat him as normal. Just talk to him. He'll understand what you are saying. So another thing, like also when we get to new places, we'll have to show him where the washroom is. Because if you don't show him, he'll do his thing wherever he wants to. So you'll have, that's the first thing, is to show him where the washroom is. That was an initial challenge, because he could just do wherever he is. Whether we are seated here, he can just come and pee in front of you.
Oh, wow.
But now he's understanding the privacy. And yeah, so by communication, I forgot to mention that it's done for speech therapy.
Okay.
Yeah, so the therapist has been taking me through. So for me, I didn't even know that if a child can't chew food, that is a problem with speech. Because I remember, like, for him, he just used to swallow. So I used to get so scared. I'm at work, I could call him all the time.
Yeah,
Is he
you're
okay?
worried he would choke.
Yeah, I thought he would choke. But now after the speech therapist, is a speech and language therapist who takes care of him. So he could take me through and tell me that, chewing is part of speech, which I didn't know. So as they went along the way, he could now chew. So that means that he's developing speech. I didn't know.
Okay.
So another thing that he also told me is concentration is also part of speech. Yeah. So back then he could not even sit still. But now he can sit still and take instructions. So even from taking instructions, that is also part of speech.
Wow.
So he can take instructions, yes. Then, yeah, you can communicate. So communication is speech. It doesn't mean that speaking
Okay.
is speech. Yeah, so yeah, I've been taken through that so that I get to understand that so long as you communicate, you don't have to speak. But if you can communicate, then that's okay. But now the only challenge is I'm always scared that if you'll wander off,
Yeah.
even to the streets or out of the compound, and get to interact with people who don't know him,
Yeah.
whom he can't express himself to, because now he's used to us around us. I mean, we will know when he's sad. You asked about his expressions.
Yes.
Yeah, how we'll know that he's sad. So when he's sad, he'll just sit quiet. So you'll keep on asking him, what's wrong? Who has beaten you, or what's up? But you know, he's an happy child also and very active. So you'll know, like, he likes crying, expressing through tears.
Okay.
Yeah, so he'll be crying when you ask him a lot of questions like, what's up? So we avoid that. We ask once, and if he's not responding, then we'll know that there's a problem. If he's unwell, you'll know he'll be sleepy. Because this is somebody who wakes up at 5 a.m. And sleeps even after 9. So it's as 9 p.m. in the night. So it's as to make him sleep at the right time. So we'll know when he's sick that way, because he'll not tell you that my tummy is aching, my head is aching. He'll not tell you. So it's up to you to know. So when he's very dull, then you'll know. Then for him, we have to take him to hospital.
Yeah.
When he's dull and we notice he's not okay. Because, like, you know, other babies will tell you, the ones who are speaking, my head is aching, my tummy is aching. So with him, you can't know. So you just have to get to the doctor so that they run tests and know what the problem is.
How is the doctor able to tell, oh, he has a headache or he has a tummy ache, if he's not able to express it that a part of his body is aching or he has a particular feeling. So how is the doctor able to determine that this is what he's feeling?
So now it's always we always have to update everyone we
Yeah.
meet. Like you go to the hospital, you'll tell them now this boy does not speak. So he's unwell, but usually the what manifests themselves. So you'll know, like when he's vomiting, so maybe you'll think, maybe he has tummy ache. Or maybe if he has high fever, maybe it's headache. So obviously when you get to the doctor, they'll ask, what's up with the baby? Because now it's you to explain. If you don't explain clearly, then the baby will be helped. So you'll be told he's been vomiting for how long? You'll say, does he have fevers? Yes. Does he, yes or no? And so they'll have to run tests.
Okay.
Yeah.
And does he have friends?
No.
Okay. Even in school?
In school, let me not say no, but he's loved by a lot of children. Because you'll just be walking along the streets or even in the estate, everyone will be calling him. Then, or you yourself, you are somewhere, then you'll be told, that's Mama Giovanni. So,
And does he love the attention?
yeah, he does nowadays.
Okay.
But initially, you could see he's uneasy with the attention. But since I say their school is inclusive, and he's been with his peers since 2018, to date we are in 2025. So they've moved with his peers. Because initially I was afraid. I could ask the teachers, are you sure I should move with the peers? Is he performing at their level? So they said, no, they understand. So if we let him behind, he'll know that his peers, it will not, it will make
they
him
already
lack
understand
confidence.
him and they know him.
Yeah, so they know him and they just have to move with them. And for us, CBC was a plus for us because now CBC does not base really on the classwork. There are other activities that you can do that can measure your capability. I mean, if you are improving in school or something. Yeah, so it's so peers from school, those ones he has, that you'll even go outside and they'll say, this boy is in my class, or how are you, Mama Giovanni? Like when they see you, they're excited that they've seen Mama Giovanni or they've seen the boy. So for me, that one lets me know that he has friends, and they will even ask you how he's doing when they meet you and they don't see him.
And during lessons, is he taught just the same as the other children? Does he sit in for lessons just like the other children, or does he get special attention from the teacher?
So what they have in their school are called shadow teachers. So these are extra teachers to take care of them.
Okay.
Yeah, so like we are in a class of 10. Yeah, we just sit in the same class, but then now this teacher helps to re-emphasize on what was taught because, of course, now this is a slow learner.
Yes.
He cannot be in the same level with the others. So that means the shadow teacher has to take him through bit by bit. And though whatever he learns is not the same as the others, his is different. So they use the individual education plan for him. So if now we say it's number work, they'll say now he's able to write 1 to 10. So then they'll identify his area of weakness that needs an improvement and even his strong points. Yes, so that's how we move.
Okay. Okay. That's very interesting to learn. So then I would also just want to know, what has it been like for you as the mother? I know the society we live in can be cruel. The society we live in can be insensitive. I know there are those people who believe if your child has a special need, ulitoa mtoto kafara. Yeah. I mean, those are conversations that happen, yeah? And I'm sure that there are very insensitive words that have been thrown at you. So as a parent to an autistic child, What has that been like for you? What has been the highs? What has been the lows? What has been the pain?
For me, I think I would say I developed a thick skin. Because just as I said, you're in a public place, he has that meltdown or is unable to cope, people will stare. So you have to, we are told you are your child's first ambassador. You are the protector.
Yes.
So you'll have just to stay calm in that situation. It doesn't matter the environment. People will be throwing words. But you have to keep calm and just calm down the baby first. The baby comes first. And I would say, like the other day, somebody was telling me that somebody saw the boy somewhere and said, I know this boy, we go to the same church. The boy will, that it used to be all over the place. Yeah. The boy will be all over the place and will steam, and the mom will just concentrate on the sermon or whatever. Yeah, so for me, every kind of feedback is okay, because for them, they see I will concentrate. But for me, deep inside at that time, I was dying. It was tough for me. And even at some point, I used to have panic attacks. That was in late 2021. So I remember one day he was up and down. And I'm in that episode, you can imagine, and we are just the two of us. So I'm having that panic attack. I have to be strong. And again, I used to have palpitations. So palpitations, the panic attack, we are in an enclosed place and is up and down. So I will just tell myself, so in this journey, it's you. You have to talk to yourself a lot. So I will just tell myself, let me be strong for the boy. So even me, I'm going through those episodes and stuff. But then I had to get him, calm him down, just make sure he's beside me. So in case of anything, even if I drop dead at that point, it's just next to me and people will know that I'm the mother, or maybe, I'm the one who was taking care of him at that point. So another thing is that at times, like you have friends and it will be, some of them will even have functions. Yeah, you just know they have functions and you'll not be involved.
You will not be invited.
Some of them were, not all of them, but some, you just know, like they had a birthday party. Yeah, you'll get to the house, then you notice there was a birthday party here even maybe 2 days ago, and we were not invited. So you'll not understand whether it's with the baby or you are not just invited, or with the friendship.
You discriminated.
Yes. Or like my baby invited her friends. So then you'll know that then we are not friends of this house, you know?
And what about a situation your child has a birthday and you invite friends? Do they come?
They do.
All?
But
or some don't?
I just invite a small circle.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll know Monica has babies, let me invite them. Yeah. So I'll just go that by my friends.
And what are some of those painful words that you have had through your journey?
I remember one time we were back in the village. By then the boy was not settled. He didn't know a lot of meals. So there were some groundnuts on the table. There was also some old man there. So the baby took the groundnuts, poured on the table and was playing with them. I was like, this boy is not well kept, well disciplined. Why is he playing with food?
He's spoiled.
Yeah, he's spoiled. So I got mad and just told him, you don't understand what it is like. In mother tongue, I told you what it is like to have a special needs baby. So one day you'll even have one, then you'll know why this boy is doing what he's doing. Yeah, so that was one of the tough ones.
Has any of those words come from people who are very close to you?
One came from somebody who was close. I remember there's a time we went with the baby to visit some friends, and there was a small boy, roughly 1 year. But just as I said, in his early stages, he could not express himself. So I think that was a way of expressing it. So he pushed the baby, and the baby hit his head, and the head got swollen immediately.
Pushed your baby?
No,
Okay.
my baby pushed another baby. And then the grandmother got mad. And it's somebody who is close to us as a family.
And understands that your child is a special
Yes,
needs
she
child.
got mad. She, like, her body language now indicated that we are not needed there anymore. So we had to leave. But my friend was like, no, just stay. Because you know how she understands. The mother to the baby. So she just took ice cubes and tried to numb the head so that the swelling would go. But she was like, no, 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 don't leave, just stay. My mom will just relax. Because her, she understands. Yeah, so that really broke me. I was like, hey, these are people who are close to us, but if now they can't stand us because of what the baby did, and that was also out of my hands. I didn't know that he was going to push that little boy down.
So I'm going to ask two questions even as we get close to winding up, because I know this is a very, very big topic, and maybe hopefully you can come back again and share with us. So my first question would be, what do the meltdowns look like? I know there are moments when he has meltdowns. So what do those meltdowns look like?
Yeah, so for him, just as we said, autism is a spectrum. So for him, just as I said, he expresses through tears. He'll not make the noise. He's a very calm boy and quiet, but he will just cry. And I remember in the early years, he would like try to scratch people when he's having those meltdowns, and just roll on the floor or on the ground. Yeah, but lately, I don't know whether it's because of age, like when he has those meltdowns, he'll just be crying. I remember like 2 days ago, he was just crying. And I was, why are you crying? Yeah, we were in the house. And I think he wanted to do something and I refused. So I think he had those mixed of
was
feelings.
upset.
Yeah, like, yeah, it was homework.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted him to do homework and I think he was not ready. So I think he had those, he's from school. I think he's tired. I'm already telling him to do homework. He's still excited from being from school and finding the mother home. And now again, the mother is giving him some assignment to do. So he really cried. He cried for long.
So he has tantrums just like any other child.
Yes,
It's only that he expresses
does.
himself different. By the way, are there other autistic children in the school where he goes to?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So then my next question, and this is mostly to help our audience, if you could just share from a general perspective, what are some of the traits of an autistic person? I know you've talked about your child in particular, but knowing that you also interact with other parents and other people who are autistic, what are some of the characteristics that me as a layman can look out to and know that this person could possibly be autistic, and maybe I should be a bit more patient with them? So if you can just give us a picture of what an autistic child or an autistic person looks like, what are their behaviors? Yeah.
So some of
Traits.
the early signs is lack of eye contact, or you'll call, I'm just doing a layman's,
Yes.
or maybe you'll call their name and they don't respond. Call them Betty and they'll just be quiet like they don't know. They're not even aware of their surroundings or danger. Yeah, they'll even be playing near fire or playing with fire.
Oh, wow.
They don't know that it will burn them. And then again, they'll not, like you are in a space where there are lots of children, they'll tend to play alone on the side. And the lack of eye contact, segregating themselves to play on the side. And the steaming. Yeah, it's some noise that they make. I don't know how to do it, but it's either a noise or cry. And then another early sign is that they don't want to I've said about interacting with other children or even interact with people they don't know. They always want to interact with familiar people. And another early sign will be they'll be flapping their hands or or
doing
stamping
this?
their feet. Yeah, or like mine even used to grind his teeth, but I didn't know what that was. But now I'm learning maybe it's a minor seizure or something. Yeah, or trying to keep calm. The grinding will be to deal with his senses or his emotions. So they just want to keep calm. Yeah, so those are some of the early signs.
Do they have a problem, especially as children? You see, like when we have babies, we want to cuddle them and squeeze them and smooch them. Is this something that they are comfortable with, or they don't like to be?
Some of them don't like touch. Yeah, the cuddling. I remember even mine never used to like. Nowadays he's touchy, but he never used to like. You'll hug him, and he'll get off, or you're greeting him, and he'll remove his hand from yours, like he doesn't want. So yeah, some of them don't want the touchy-touchy-ness or the holding and keeping calm. But again, now when they have the meltdowns, you just have to hold them tight and just reassure them that it's okay, you'll be okay. Yeah.
My second last question. What would you say about how the society reacts, or the mindset of the society about people with special needs and about families that have people with special needs? What is your perspective of what the society is like?
I think the society does not really understand much. So you'll be looked at from a point of, there are some that will look at you from a point of weakness. Some again will look at you at a point of strength. I remember one time somebody told me, hey, you are strong. If I had such a child, I would be crying daily and all the time. And I asked them, why? This is just like a normal child. Why would you cry that you have such a child? Or somebody will ask you, how do you cope with this child? Or you always look strong. You don't look like you have a special needs child. So I'm like, how does somebody who has a special needs child look like? So, the society just needs to understand. And then there's a lot of stigma. Yeah, around people with children with special needs, or even relatives with special needs. People will look at you like maybe there's a sin you committed that you are paying for, or you've done something to your child to get to a certain level.
Yes.
So me, I would urge anyone who has a special needs child, your conscience is clear. You have nothing to do about him being special.
And you have nothing to prove to the society.
And you have nothing to prove to them. Just be yourself. For me, I've always been myself. Doesn't matter where I am. Yeah, I remember one time I was somewhere. I went for some meeting. There was a boy who was playing up and down. Then the mother was like, oh, my boy is jumpy. Then somebody made a comment. By then they didn't know my boy as autism. Made a comment, no, just let him play and even talk all the time, because there are mothers out here who just want their babies to talk. Their babies are autistic. Then they finished the conversation. We finished our meeting. Then I told them, by the way, I have a child who has autism. Then I saw the shock on their face. Now they could remember, I think, the comments that they had made. So I think the society just needs to be sensitized to know that having a special needs child is not a crime. It's not a curse. Yeah, it happens. Like for me, I never thought that I would have a special needs child.
Nobody thinks that.
Yeah, it was just a normal child, was born normally. Then along the way, he was diagnosed with autism. Yeah, so I think just be yourself. And again, don't hide your children in their houses.
Yeah.
Let them be. If you're staying in a flat, you paid for that space. Let them play with the other kids. I know there are issues like they get into people's houses and spoil things. Just let them be. With time, what I tell people is that they overcome it and they'll relax. They overcome a lot of things. And so, the more you expose them, the more they get used to those environments. But if you keep them in the houses, when you get them out, they'll even run and disappear. We call it eloping. So, yeah, the stigma, I will just also urge other members of the society not to look at people with children with special needs with a different lens. They're just like any other parent raising any other child. So let us just be kind to them, because raising those children is also not easy. So if we add it with stigma, it gets tougher.
As you're talking about it, you make it look so easy. You have clearly carried this with a lot of grace. But then, have there been moments where in your quiet closet you have broken down for your child and wishing you could find a solution? I'm sure there's been situations where your child has been bullied or he has faced some backlash or very harsh words. In as much as you're making it look so easy, do you at times just go in your closet and break down?
I do so many times.
And what goes through your mind in those moments?
At times I'm blank. Usually I'm blank about it. I don't know whether it's a way of God showing me that it's okay. But at times I ask myself so many questions. What if this boy was okay, like his peers? What, like today morning, let me give the example. I was taking a walk in the morning. So I was seeing children going to school by themselves. So I was like, hey, I wish my boy could be walking to school alone, because I could see even little ones walking to school too.
Yeah.
I mean, going to school alone. And me had just taken mine to school. So I was like, what will it be like for him to be just
independent?
Yeah, independent, go to school and come back. I just find him home that he's back. Yeah. So, those, you have those moments.
Yeah.
You might look strong, but there are those moments that you have what ifs. And I remember even after the diagnosis, when I was given medication to give him, I cried. Because now I was told it's a lifetime thing. And those tablets were big. I was like, I called the doctor and asked, is he supposed to swallow these things or do what? And I was crying. And just as I told you, I had a very good nanny at that point. She could talk to me and just tell me, it's okay, don't break down and what. And I used to cry and very cranky. But, God has a way of bringing people in your life that will understand you. Because she could understand me. Even if I was harsh to her, I'm sure at some point.
She knew it's the frustration.
Yeah, but she could understand the frustration. So it's not easy. At times you cry yourself to sleep. Then you get back okay. But me, what has helped me again is that I speak out. When I feel that you treated my child badly, I'll tell you.
You stand up for your child.
I'll just tell you, now this one that you did is not okay. So even if you say sorry or not, but at least you know that I was not happy with what you did.
Have you had any form of counseling or therapy to be able to cope?
No.
Okay. Okay. All right. So as we wind up, maybe I would just ask you to give us your parting shot. Speak out to mothers or families there who have children or members of their family who are autistic. Like you said, there are people who are hiding their children. There are people who are embarrassed of their children. So if you could maybe just give a parting shot or a word of encouragement to someone out there who can relate to the situation.
Okay. So I'll just say, just as I said, be yourself around your child. You don't have to be sorry for yourself and even for the child.
Yes.
Just let the child be when you're around people or in public places. I mean, even other children throw tantrums. It's not just an autistic child who throw tantrums. And what I've learned over these few years is that people will treat your child the way you treat them. So
absolutely.
If you don't treat them with love, they will not show them love. If you don't treat them with patience, they'll not show the baby patience. So just get the children out, take them out, let them interact with other people so that the other people in the society also get to understand that there are such people who are different. And I'm always very happy with the school where my child goes because they are not segregated that now these are special. There are a number, there are about 30.
Oh, wow.
But now they are not segregated that this is a special needs child. They need a different class. They are just put into the same class with the same teachers. So, and it's always heartwarming when you get to the school and you see another child holding his hand, like taking him around maybe to the washroom back then, but nowadays he's kind of independent. Yeah. So, or just making sure where he is at, like he's playing. And even now, they're in church when we go on Sunday. It's been, since he was 2. He's been going to Sunday school, and you can find those other children, holding him up to the class, or
wow.
maybe they're done, they are bringing him back to you. And yeah, it's heartwarming because now if you are open, other people will also be open
People
to
have
us.
embraced him.
Yeah, people will embrace them. But now if we keep them, people will not know how to handle them. And let us just be confident about it, because it's already tough out here, and it can't get tougher. So just, and again, when you interact with people, just the talking and the laughing reduces the burden. Yes.
Is there anything you wish that the government would do, or to, I don't know, maybe create awareness or anything to make the lives of people with special needs in general better, especially when it comes to mental disabilities and so on and so forth?
So what I think, I would like to commend the government. There was that bill that was passed a few days ago. I assented to, not passed, assented to by the president. But I think more should be done. Last month, I was at a autism conference in Nairobi. They called it East African Autism Symposium. So from the speakers, I noticed there's a lot that is happening in Nairobi, but not in places like Kisumu where we are, and the other, let me call them remote areas, though we are not remote. So much is happening in Nairobi. So I think the government should look for ways of, we are in the era of devolution, of devolving even these activities. Because from there, I learned that if you have the disability certificate, there's a certificate that people with special needs should have. There are places in Nairobi that you go for therapy for free, of up to, I don't know, 100,000. But here in Kisumu, we have none. Either you have to go to JTRH, Jaramogi Oginga Teaching and Referral Hospital, for those therapies and pay. The queues are long. Or get a private therapist like ours that comes to the house, and then you pay them per session, which is
costly.
Or go to a private facility for the therapies. So I think the government should make services accessible and available, and even for sensitization, it should also be done in these grassroots areas, and even funding allocations. I think they should be given to these schools that, we have public schools that take care of these children, but they are not that time that I was looking for a school, they are not that up to date.
Yeah, because also public schools are quite packed.
Yeah, with the current technologies. So if they could make these services accessible even for these children, safe environments, not just that it's a school, my child, because you'll find a school that has no fence, and these children tend to elope. They run away because the teacher might be this side and that child is the other side, and they might just run away. So I think they should just make safe spaces for these children, and even for the parents. We always talk about the children and not talk about
people
the
talk
parents.
about the patients, but they never talk about the caregivers.
Yeah, so they don't talk about the caregivers. So even for caregivers, they should even have programs for us for mental health. As I told you, for myself, I've never even seen a therapist or a counselor. So imagine, we have different coping mechanisms. There are people who might not even depressed from these situations. So they should just make mental health services available for us. Therapy. Sorry, I was forgetting that. Like in Kisumu, as we speak, I can say with confidence, though I'm not an expert, there are no speech therapists in those public health facilities where children are taken for therapies. So we should have, services that are available that can help members of the public, even from the lowest levels of the society.
Okay. I want to say thank you very much for taking your time, for being vulnerable enough and brave enough to come and share your experience and your story. I want to appreciate you for doing a wonderful job, for loving your boy, for not treating him any different. And I also want to appreciate you for preparing him for the society and to train him to interact with the society. I know it's not easy, and I just ask that God gives you the grace. I pray that, the circumstances change, that institutions and environments that are created that are supportive to people like you. And to our viewers, I would just like to say, if you know someone around you who is struggling with autism or has a family member who has autism or any other special needs person, extend grace to them. Extend grace especially to the caregivers. A lot of time people ask, how is the patient or how is the victim? But people often forget to ask the caregiver, how are you? Because they bear the greatest burden. So let us learn to ask people around us who are especially caregivers, how are you? Let us give them the support. Let us give them, the break when they need it to be able also to be just themselves and, have time for themselves. So we want to say thank you very much for tuning in and for listening. If you have any questions or any topics that you want us to discuss, our contacts are going to be displayed on the screen. Feel free to reach out to us and ask those questions and tell us what you would like to discuss and talk about. I want to say thank you very much once again, Betty. It's an honor having you on our show. And I hope that we can have another session to discuss. I know there's so much, there's so much to learn. So I hope that we can have another session to discuss more about this. Asanteni sana. Have a lovely day and goodbye.